Coach, ready when you are.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. It's always an exciting day, each year to be able to add to your program, add to our roster, get better. I think we accomplished that again. A lot of hard work went into this from a lot of people. But in particular, I want to thank Derek Ray, Michael Doctor, J.R. Mawala, Casey Byers, Jordan Lane, Kylie Murphy, and so many others. But those in particular, how much they work. Because this was a different year. You think about COVID-19, you think about the recruiting process and the ability to bring Corvallis to our recruits. Those guys were critically important through all of this. And so they've done a great job, along with our coaching staff. It's a top-notch staff, and these guys do things the right way and at a high level. And so we're really pleased with this class that we put together. Obviously, the early signing date in December, and then today, around 26 total new members currently. And then adding about 15 of them on this particular day. And so we're really, really fired up on it. I am going to kind of go down the list, give you a quick comment or two about each guy, and then obviously be able to answer any questions you do have. Hanelli Bloomfield actually is here on campus now, currently, got here in January. Really excited about his flexibility on the offensive line, the ability to play a couple of spots. He's a little bit more veteran. Which we thought could help us add some real depth there, and he's going to have the ability to compete right away. Bryce Caulfield, tight end from Lake Ridge, think he can make the game physical. Got some great frame and has an opportunity to continue to develop and really be an asset to us, I think, on the offensive side. Deshaun Fenwick, running back, from South Carolina, here as well. Been working out with us for a month. Obviously, we lost a big piece of our running back room with Jamar. And we feel like Deshaun's going to be a huge addition that way, to be able to play right away, go through spring ball, physically can do it, has carries already at the highest level in college football. And so that was a huge addition for us. Gavin Haynes, Westland High School. Just wanted this guy on my team, to be honest with you, and watching his tape, the type of kid he is. Think he could play some different spots, but we're going to start him there at running back. His teammate, Zach Holmes, same thing, Westland High School. We've developed offensive line. Jim Alchuk does a great job. I feel like Zach has a chance to develop as well. Frame, plays nasty, can move his feet. EJ, Elijah Jones, defensive back, University of Kansas. Most recently here as well, on campus. Been working out for a month. Feel like adds to our competitiveness, depth in the secondary. Feel like he can help us from right away. Huge for him to be able to go through spring ball. Jack Hane, again, plays in the top level. We're in Servite High School, coming from that league. You guys know how competitive that league, the Trinity League, is in Southern California. Excited about his addition, where he plays in the secondary. Orion, this is one of my favorites just in regards to this guy had a big-time senior year. And oftentimes this recruiting process is so sped up that oftentimes your senior year doesn't matter as much. Well, this guy's senior year did. He showed up on tape in a big way for us. Obviously, coming from Utah, was able to play, and so we're really looking forward to his addition. He will go on a Mormon mission, which be an awesome experience for a couple of years. Those that then have been able to do that and change their lives, and so we'll be anxious to get him back here after that. Josh McCormick, kicker, always looking for him, coming all the way from Texas. He can split the uprights, and we're counting on that from him. Carter Newman, tight end from Sheldon High School. I think this guy got position flexibility as well. Can play some tight end. We probably will start him there, but not certain he couldn't end up on the defensive side, at defensive line. Made plays on both sides in high school. Obviously, we got a bunch of respect for that program just down the road at Sheldon. Excited about his addition. Jeremiah Noga, I got to see him a bunch on tape because the quarterback was throwing it to him, Sam Vidlak. I feel like Jeremiah's got a chance even earlier on in his career here to do some things. I think he's got a physical skill set to do it coming in. Tyson Thomas, defensive back, really Lake Ridge High School, another guy that loves football and actually goes down to Texas to be able to play. And he's got that kind of desire to play the game, goes to Texas, and now has returned to Lake Ridge. And he's got some length to him. Excited about what he'll bring to the defensive back room. Micaiah Tung, that name will sound familiar to so many in Beaver Nation, with his dad being a legacy of this place, a big-time player. Micaiah's coming from the University of Georgia. He's been here on campus already for a month. This guy adds to our receiver room in a lot of different ways. One is just the physicality he can play with, the height he's got, and he's got a few years to do it here at Oregon State. And it doesn't hurt when your dad's a 10-year NFL vet and had a big-time career here at Oregon State, being able to sell Corvallis and what that does. So that was a huge get for us there. Jason White, offensive lineman. Again, Orange Lutheran, big-time football down in Southern California in the Trinity League. This guy has some athleticism. We feel like he can play the natural left tackle at O-line. Took a lot of effort by so many in the recruiting process, but a huge addition to our offensive line, which we wanted to get done this month. Add a few guys, and we got that done. You can never have enough. And this guy, again, has the opportunity and, in my mind, the capability to play as a youngster here. And then Jake Wright, defensive end, Baker High School, just on the other side of the state here. Again, a physical skill set to build off of, but also being 6'5", probably 245 now. Going to start him on the defensive line and see where it goes. And we're excited about, like I said, all these additions we've had. I think this is, you look at it number-wise, maybe a little bit smaller in regards to numbers, which we anticipated because we got so much coming back on our roster currently. But it's a nice building block of the momentum we have. We feel like these additions are going to continue to help us build and continue to get better. With that, questions?
Jonathan, what was the number one thing you wanted to address from this class and felt like you were able to do that?
Yeah, I combining both dates here, December and the signing date today, we were going to go across the board and try to create depth and additions at every position. There was a little bit of an emphasis in January. Is there an O-lineman or two out there that we feel that fit our place? And we wanted to find those guys and feel awesome about the couple we got.
And on the flip side, was there anything besides numbers of scholarship guys, for obvious reasons, that you wanted to address and you're not sure that you were able to do that?
We're always trying to look, and if they can add some value to our roster, we're going to pursue them. And so in no way are we done in regards to you recruiting 365 days a year. And so if there's some good players out there that can help us, if we can find some space, we're going to be able to, we'll look to do that. But I don't see a glaring hole that we missed on this list.
Are all the transfers, are they all eligible to play for 21?
I'm pretty confident, yes. I have to double check my compliance office here in a minute, but yeah, I'm pretty confident, yes.
Hey, Coach Smith, how many more scholarships, give or take, do you have right now to work with?
That's an ever-changing number. The way this thing has worked with the COVID-19, everyone gets a free year. You can see what the transfer portal has created, not just at Oregon State in college football. So that's always a moving target, but we don't have a bunch.
You guys
Jonathan,
on the roster for this year in this recruiting class, but also a lot of PWOs too, that are local Oregon kids. Just walk me through the calculus there of, keeping an eye on everyone that you have in state here, but also, programs like Nebraska have been able to do this, of taking local, preferred walk-on kids and turn them into something. I mean, do you look at something like that and say, we want to kind of stack the deck here with some walk-on kids that have the potential to be contributors later?
Yeah, we do. You look at building a roster, building a team, and yeah, you're looking at high school athletes on the recruitment side, the scholarship side, junior college side. In this day and age, the transfer portal is one way you can add to your roster, but also on the walk-on end and being preferred and giving them true opportunity. And we've got plenty of examples, through Oregon State's history, the last 30 years, of guys that have come on and walked on and contributed in a big way. And so that's, again, building the roster, but then developing the roster. All those four examples are the way we try to do it.
Jonathan, in regards to the preferred walk-ons, I think I count 9 from this today and maybe 3 or 4 from the last group. And I assume you're probably not done. It feels like there's a few more than usual. I could be wrong on that, but was there any thought to bring in more walk-ons this year, given that a lot of them did play a senior year, and maybe there's a diamond out there that, you're able to get on campus and see, whereas in other years you're not able to do that?
Well, I know every year we're trying to shoot more than one diamond in the rough out of this group to come in and, like I've said before, go and contribute and develop and be big time big time for us. I think a little bit too, you look at roster sizes with the flexibility some of the COVID numbers creates, allows for a spot or two. And so again, we feel like these guys are going to be able to come in and truly compete and contribute and play. We want to recruit them and give them an opportunity. And we feel awesome about this group.
6A gets a lot of the love and recruitment here in Oregon from the high school side of things, but you guys did a pretty good job of going down, the various levels of Oregon high school football to find guys. I mean, what has the recruiting strategy just kind of been for you guys? People like Coach Cook is kind of looking at the state itself and finding talent beyond the typical, 6A Portland, 6A Eugene kind of hotbeds.
Yeah, I think just because, a player comes from maybe a school that doesn't have the numbers as others, number of students, and so the size the school they go to doesn't, keep them from being a good player. And again, the fit of Corvallis, they've got to have a physical skill set that can play the game. That's obviously a starting point in the evaluation process. But their desire for football, their desire to be able to get better and improve, all these, they got those attributes. If they're coming from a school that's 3,500 kids or 350 kids, we want to chase them down. And you're right, Coach Cookus does an awesome job, kind of heads that up in our state, but our entire staff of the awareness of the players that are in the state that are playing high school football. It's a definite group effort.
Jonathan, it's the first time we've been able to talk to you about a few other things, but David Morris, when did that conversation take place as far as?
Yep. It really started before the Christmas break. And he's just having a lot of thoughts. He desperately loves this game, but he wanted to take some time and really think about it. We kind of finalized things last week with him. And look, the guy gave everything he could to this place, was a leader on this team, did things right on and off the field. The injury thing, he couldn't escape. He just dealt with so much, putting it all out on the line that he just ran out of gas. We appreciate his efforts, what he brought to the place. And that's kind of what the conversation was last week.
Do you know, is he planning on staying at Oregon State and finishing his, I don't know if it's.
Yeah. And he's got some options there. He's such a good student to really leave this place with 2 majors or pursue a little bit more masters. He's really close on that stuff.
To go back to the local guys real quick, do you feel like the program's made inroads the last couple of years that you've been there with local Oregon high school kids a little bit better maybe than in past years? And how much does that matter, not just for this year, but you got a big class of local guys in 2022 that are very highly regarded people already?
Yeah, I think you're trying to make inroads in not just your own state, but where we're a Pac-12 footprint in regards to the West Coast recruiting. We're always trying to make more and more inroads. Again, we got a bunch of respect for the high school coaches in this state. A lot to deal with this year with COVID and cancellations and whatnot, and them still diving into their kids, even though they're not able to play games. And so those relationships are huge for us, and we're going to continue to grow them.
Have you been able to peek your head inside the off-season workouts and see how those are going?
Yeah, it's been fun to be able to get around them. Normally he'd been traveling the whole month of January. And so, yeah, our coaches have been popping in on them. I was there a couple of times, even this week. Shoot, they were out there. Wednesday's our lighter day, and they're out there throwing the suns out and getting Corvallis. We got 25 guys throwing routes and covering people and getting some work in. So there's a great energy with the work ethic, and I know they're excited to be back around each other and getting better.
There haven't been any off-season injuries of note at all. Every once in a while,
nope.
Pop up.
Nothing of note.
Is your coaching staff? You feel like it's set now for there's no movement as far as you can tell.
No movement to announce. But I will say, just like anytime you do something well, people are going to pursue those people, and those conversations take place. It seems like every off season. So this one has been no different.
How much did it help with the recruiting process to have that coaching continuity when so many other programs are having a hard time kind of retaining staff?
Yeah, I think it helps, and that's one of our approaches around here is to have some continuity and build on year after year at the same people. But look, I will say, just particularly this coaching staff, some of these guys have had opportunities, have turned them down currently, but that's not going to stop. I mean, people take notice of the work getting done here. And so that's part of the business. And we want to help guys continue to grow their careers.
Have you nailed down a start date for a spring practice?
Not totally yet. I've been looking back and forth on that. Initially was thinking just going start March and do what we've done before. But because of this recruiting calendar, it creates a little more flexibility to get into the springtime. And so we're just taking another look at it before we decide exactly.
Are there any other guys who have left the program? It looks like Jake Scarton's no longer on the roster.
Yep. We've had a few departures for different reasons. Nothing disciplinary type issue. It's more of free choice by them. Some of them want a better opportunity to go play. Some of them have graduated and are finished and want to start real life. But I don't have the list in front of me, and it's more than one or two.
You look at what you guys have had from a running back perspective the last couple of years, whether it be, Jamar and AP sort of complementing one another there in the room. I mean, when you look at Deshaun and Demir, are those guys complementary, supplementary? I mean, how would you describe the room that you have in these new guys and what you might be able to do from an offensive standpoint with them and utilizing them in different ways?
Yeah, I think we've got a variety of talent in the room, and I do think we got some depth in the room to create some competition. BJ Baylor coming back. You mentioned Deshaun and Demir, Teron Madison and Isaiah Newell, and Mikey Alfrieri's going to get back. And each of those guys have some skill sets unique to themselves. And that's why Coach Lindgren and the offensive staff got to put those guys in some good positions. But it's good to have choices on who you want to put out there.
Any, I ask this all the time, but any update on Jordan Whitley? Has he been going through workouts or?
He's been around. He hasn't been full, but he has been around, and he's definitely looked better than he did a month ago.
On that note, any update on Addison Gumbs at all?
Not at this point, no.
You might have already said this. Are all four of the incoming transfers, Fenwick, Bloomfield, Jones, and Tongue, already on campus?
Correct. Yep, they're all on campus and working out, going to class, hopefully.
Does Tongue, does he what from a receiver standpoint, is he someone you don't have on your roster right now, or does he look like anybody?
Yeah, he's a little bit taller than what we had, and he's physical. He's well over 200 pounds. He's got great hands, being able to kind of glance at some of the work getting done over there. So we're excited to kind of get with him in the spring and find the right spot for him in this offense, because we do move those receivers a bunch, and Coach Fentz does a great job of, allowing guys to play inside and outside, and we're going to see what fits him best. Thanks, guys.